as bad as I hate to go into this, it's the reality of the situation. So here I am again with hip pain. It feels, pretty similar to last time, but different. I don't know, it's hard to put into words. Like 4 days ago or so, I put in a pretty decent squat workout, and then, the next day after that, I was fine. But I noticed it almost felt like a strain in my adductor. And then I think 2 days after that workout, that strain was very, very noticeable. I don't know if I overstretched it, going into a squat like this. And, I don't know if I overstretched my adductor. But when I come out here and take like 135 for a set of 10 on these off days, it was a pretty sharp pain, through the adductor. Wasn't terrible. It just felt like muscle soreness, but, a lot sharper than, your typical soreness. So I know that the adductor, may have tweaked it somehow, but I think I'm having some, problems with my hip flexor again. I went on a run yesterday. I ran, a mile and then did 2 quarter-mile sprints. When I went outside for that run, I was walking down the steps and hit the ground, took off walking, and I noticed, there's a little something in the right hip. And I was like, no, dude, can't do this again. So I spent a lot of time in the driveway, warming up, kind of stretching out, and, it's still there, never really went away. But I went out on my run and didn't feel it while I was running. So I was like, no big deal. Until today. It's not a bad pain most of the time, but I've noticed that, I've started walking around with a little bit of a limp. Like my stride with my right foot is shorter than, the step I take with my left. And the quickest way for me to recreate this pain is if I stand here and start rotating like this, it puts the front of my hip in a bind pretty quick. And, I don't do it on the left hip, but when I stand here and I just rotate, this right hip gets caught up real quick. And dropping down and kind of stretching like this kind of makes it worse. And it is a super bad pinching pain. If I'm sitting down and like lean over, it is, this right hip feels blocked up. So I don't know what to do. I don't really know what caused it. Didn't do anything super sudden, unless it was the sprints yesterday that, flared the hip flexors back up. But I don't know, man. I guess I just got to give it a few more days and see how it goes. Because if I overstretched it, because I have been doing some stretching the past few days, if I overstretched it, then, stretching is probably not going to help me recover in this certain situation. But if it's due to something else, then stretching would, probably help me recover. So I don't know which road to take. I don't know if I need to stretch or if I don't need to stretch. But, this right hip is certainly, it's certainly stiff right now. Left one feels pretty good, but this right one, there's a, it's just kind of painful. I can feel it pinching right now. Let me see if I can get it to pop. I don't know. No, that ain't gonna pop. Can't get it to pop. I don't know, man. It's like right on the front of the hip though. So I think it's hip flexor related. I don't know. I don't know what to do about it this time. So the next few days of lifting are probably going to be pretty light. I'll take this for a few reps. my squat for today. Shoot. It's frustrating, man. I really want to come out here and I want to train hard. And I had, kind of had a feeling that I should have carried the recovery period that I was in a little longer before coming back to trying to push the squat workouts. It's not like I've been doing anything crazy, but I may be trying to do too much at one time right now. I'm trying to run. I'm trying to, get back into pushing the squat workouts. I'm trying to deadlift, and, build the lower back up. I've just got a lot of things that I'm trying to do all at one time. And maybe I just can't do all of it at once. I don't know. It's kind of irritating to have my, training get affected in a negative way due to something on my end. If it's like outside of training, like if there's work stuff going on or, deer season is about to come in. So that'll, put a pretty big dent in my time schedule. But, when it's things like that, I enjoy hunting. I enjoy being in the woods. So, I don't feel like I'm sacrificing anything. And, if there's a lot of work stuff or family stuff going on, it's not a big deal. But if I come out here to train and I can't because, something in my body is messed up and I'm restricted, once I get out here to train, that's where I start to get a little irritated with it. So, that's the story. My hip has been, hurting pretty well all day. It's just a little smidge of pain, and every step, like I'm conscious of my right hip, and then when I dropped into a squat, I can feel it. I can feel it pinching. Bad. It's like right on the inner side of the hip flexor, maybe the hip flexor. I don't know. I can't really get to it by massaging. Feels a little deeper. I don't know. I'll have to go back and rewatch my videos, but I know the last time that I was having hip problems, stretching the hip flexors and doing ATG split squats, really helped out a lot. But it seems to be this time around, when I drop into an ATG split squat, it gets worse. Could do some banded hip distractions. Those kind of pull the hip out. But the thing is I've done those the last 2 days because the hip just felt kind of off. Here it is, just progressively getting worse. So, not much for training today. I've been running and gunning all day. I went to a 3D archery shoot this morning and, up and down hills and hollers, shooting bows. But that's it for training today, just because I'm going to try to let this hip recover. It's a little frustrating. But one thing, I kind of have to understand is there's only one system for recovery. The body is one system. If I hammer the squats real hard and then, don't put any energy into other areas of training, then, all of those extra nutrients and calories and everything that I can consume goes towards, squat recovery. Building back the legs. But if I hit a squat workout one day and then come in here and run the next day, and then come in here and, do a bunch of pull-ups on the third day and maybe deadlifts, well, at first I, was going to dedicate everything recovery-wise to the squats, but now, there's a lot of damage from the running. Then come in here on the third day and do deadlifts and pull-ups. Well, now my body has to find calories and stuff to, rebuild the back. And so then, you get into a position where nothing is really getting maximally recovered. And the thing is I've been feeling good, haven't been feeling off any. But, I reckon the slow, gradual, buildup of that stuff can probably be pretty bad on you. So anyways, basically no training today due to hip pain. It sucks, but that's where I am right now. So I hope you guys have had a good day, and I'll catch you tomorrow.